Welcome children to our English grammar class. Today we shall learn about perfect continuous tense. So, perfect continuous tense, or it is also called as perfect progressive tense. It shows an action that is present tense, was, past tense, or will be the future tense in progress and be completed at a later time. The perfect continuous tense is also called perfect progressive tense. The perfect continuous tense is formed with the verb to have plus been. That is the past participle of be verb plus base form V1 plus VING form. That is the continuous form. In other words, we can say the perfect continuous tense is have verb plus been plus main verb plus ing. Example, the girls have been playing for 2 hours. Now, have been playing is your perfect continuous tense verb. Have is your have verb. Been is the past participle of be verb. Play is the main verb and ing for continuous tense. So your verb is have been playing. Now I have a chart for you here with the to have verb. You can refer it for your use, children. So now let's go to the present perfect continuous tense. What is present perfect continuous tense? It shows the action which began in the past and is continuing up to the present time. For example, I have been waiting since this morning. Have been waiting shows that the action should have started earlier and it is still going on till now. A present perfect continuous tense is used to talk about an action that began in the past and has just stopped. For example, I have been teaching this class for 1 hour. So here the action had started earlier in the past and perhaps it had just been over. How long the action has been happening? I have been living in England since 2002. It shows length of time of an action, that is the duration of an action. He has been repairing the car for 2 hours. Has been repairing is your present perfect continuous tense. Now the time words are all day, whole day, how long, for, and since. Now let's see the formula for present perfect continuous tense. The subject plus the verb to have verb. It can be has or have plus the past participle of be verb, that is been, plus base form V1 which is called as the main verb, plus VING, that is ing for your continuous tense, plus the rest of the sentence. So I have the chart for you for the number and the person which will help you to put in the present perfect continuous tense verbs properly. So now let's see the example. Now if the subject is in the first person singular I, or first person plural we, or second person singular plural you, or the third person plural, then your verb will take have verb plus been plus watching. Have been watching. So we can say I have been watching TV since morning. We have been watching TV since morning. You have been watching TV since morning. They have been watching TV since morning. Now this they third person plural can be substituted with the noun the girls. The girls have been watching TV since morning. Now in the third person singular, it is he, she, it. It will take the verb has plus been plus watching. So he has been watching TV since morning. She has been watching TV since morning. Gopi or Runa can be substituted for he or she has been watching TV since morning. Let's continue in the next class. Let's continue, children, with the perfect continuous tense. Here we shall talk about past perfect continuous tense. Now, what is past perfect continuous tense? This tense shows an action which began in the past, continued up until another time in the past. So it is an action past in the past, right? So the example, the boys had been playing for an hour when it started to rain. So had been playing is one action in the past. When it started to rain is another action in the past. A past perfect continuous tense is used to talk about how long something had been happening before something else happened. Example, Ram had been waiting for 2 hours when I arrived. Had been waiting is the past perfect continuous tense. Emphasize the duration of an activity in the past. The birds had been singing all day. Had been singing is the mm, past perfect continuous tense, and it tells the duration all day. Now, time words for the past perfect continuous tense are how long, for, since, when, before, by the time. So now let's see the formula for past perfect continuous tense. It is subject plus verb. The two have auxiliary verb, and the past tense of that have verb is had, plus past participle of be verb, which is been, plus base form V1, which is the main verb, plus ing for the continuous tense, plus the rest of the sentence. So I have the chart here for you children for the person and the number, and we must remember now this is the past perfect tense. Your have verb, that is had, it is not going to change whether your number is singular or plural, or whether your subject is in the first person, second person, or third person. So the past perfect continuous tense, the auxiliary verb had will be used in all the persons and numbers. Now let's see the usage here. If the subject is first person singular I, then your past perfect continuous tense verb will be had been traveling for 2 hours. So I had been traveling for 2 hours. We had been traveling for 2 hours. You is second person singular plural. You had been traveling for 2 hours. He, she, it, third person singular. He had been traveling for 2 hours. She had been traveling for 2 hours. Can be substituted as Balan and Sanya. Balan had been traveling for 2 hours. Sanya had been traveling for 2 hours. They is third person plural. They had been traveling for 2 hours, and it can be substituted with a noun in the third person plural. My family had been traveling for 2 hours. So the use of the past perfect continuous tense is as simple as that, children. I shall see you in the next class. Let's continue, children, with the perfect continuous tense. In this session, we shall talk about future perfect continuous tense. Now, what is the future perfect continuous tense? It shows an action that will continue up until a point in the future time. So, this action has started earlier and it is going on continuously in the future time until it is perfected. Example, Ashok will have been staying in London for 10 years by the end of this month. Will have been staying is your future perfect continuous tense, which says that he's already been staying there and the act of staying mm, goes on continuously. A future perfect continuous tense is used to talk about an action before a specific moment. They will have been flying to the US for 4 hours by this time tomorrow. So for 4 hours by this time tomorrow is the time that is specified. For that your verb will be will have been flying in the future perfect continuous tense. Now before another action takes place, example, we will have been cleaning the house all day by the time she returns. So two actions. So before another action, your future perfect continuous tense will have been cleaning, and the act will go on continuously before the other act. Now the time words: by next week, by the end of this year, for 2 weeks are your time words. Now let's see the formula for future perfect continuous tense. It's the subject plus verb, the to have verb, which is your auxiliary verb, which will be will have or shall have, plus past participle of be verb, which is been, plus base form v1, which is your main verb, plus ing for your continuous tense, plus the rest of the sentence. Now I have the chart for future perfect continuous tense for the number and the person. So we can make a note of it here that your to have verb is will have or shall have, and it is common to both the numbers to singular and plural, and it is the same for your first person, second person, and third person. So irrespective of the number and the person, your um, future perfect continuous tense will have as your auxiliary verb. Now let's see how we can use it in the sentence. When your subject is first person singular, it is I will have been working in this company when I retire. Now if it is first person plural, we will have been working in this company when I retire. You, second person singular plural, will have been working in this company when I retire. He, she, it, third person singular, will have been working in this company when I retire. Can be substituted with Raju and Mala, the third person singular, will have been working in this company when I retire. They, third person plural, will have been working in this company when I retire. So irrespective of your number and person, your verb is will have been in the future perfect continuous tense. Now let's go. There is a note for you children. Use of since and for in the perfect continuous tense. Since gives the starting point of actions. It refers to when things began. So when you use since, you must keep this in mind. Since also shows a point of time in the past until now. Now when we use for, we measure the duration. So when we say how long something lasts, for is also used for a period of time. So keep this in mind. I hope you have understood the perfect continuous tense, children. I shall see you in the next class. Thank you.